Trifecta by Dean Pearl. Chapter 24. The girls had arranged to have dinner with Ben and Max at Ben's house that night to meet and discuss the progress from their day's surveillance. Ben had some background on the bar they went to, and as the girls talked about it seemed to concur with his own background knowledge of the place. He even knew the name Kitty, as she had been brought in for questioning on various cases over the years that had centered around the bar she'd worked at for over a decade. He acknowledged that she would indeed be someone with lots of inside info if they were to get close enough to her. Wesley asked if she was married to verify her earlier conversation that day with Leslie. Ben replied, "Oh yeah, her husband owns the bar," causing Wesley and Leslie to nod their heads in confirmed understanding. "We were wondering how she stayed out of trouble in there, being as pretty as she is," Leslie stated about the bartender. "That would explain it." Ben laughed. "As I understand it, nobody messes with Kitty if they know what's good for them." After dinner, the girls said they should get going as they were expected back at the biker bar tonight and they wanted to change into something less nice to wear. "Maybe I should come with you guys," Max posited, being concerned for the girls. "You could introduce me as the cousin you came into town to visit." He looked at Ben and the girls to see if they might agree that 3 heads are better than 2. "I wouldn't even have to dress like a biker. You could just say I was a dealer in a casino or something, so I wouldn't pose any threat to anyone. I'm sure there's regular people that go in there too, right?" "Yeah," Ben spoke up first. "They get friends and families of the bands in there and stuff." "I guess if it's okay with Ben, it's okay with us, right, Les?" Wesley looked at Leslie, who nodded yes. "It's not a problem for me. If anything, it just makes you look less investigative or nosy about the biker part of it." "Well, then just meet us at our place in about an hour and you can drive so we won't take the bikes," Wesley told Max. Leslie smiled. "Oh, good. I like when Maxie's with us." It was about 9 o'clock when Max showed up at the twins' house. He made himself a drink as they finished getting ready. "Remember, nothing too sexy," Max called out to the upstairs bedrooms where the girls were getting ready. "I know you two have a tendency to excite men, but the less we have to deal with excited men, the better." He could hear the girls laughing at him upstairs. Wesley was the first one to come down the stairs. "Will this do, sire?" Wesley teased as she did a model spin at the bottom of the stairs as she headed towards Max in the living room. She was wearing a not too tight pair of blue jeans and a loose blue pullover sweater, as it was a rather chilly night. Her hair was pulled back into a ponytail and she had a small black purse on her shoulder strap. "You look great," Max complimented. "Still beautiful, but not dressed like you're looking for action." "Well, thank you, sir," Wesley replied, just as Leslie was coming down the stairs in a pair of brown, calf-high, pedal-pusher slacks and a tan t-shirt that said "Proud Earthling" in white letters with a brown jacket tied around her waist and tennis shoes. Her hair was just straight, shiny, and smooth and past her mid-back. "You look like a teenager that just walked off the beach," Max whistled after saying it. "I hope you brought your ID, he teased. "You look like you just stepped off a beach in Malibu, Barbie," Wesley also teased. "Just jealous," Leslie said as she swung her hair back, "'cause I look so young." She started laughing, as did Max and Wesley. "All right," Max interrupted the fun. "Let's go check out this band." "I knew that's why he wanted to go with us," Wesley challenged, looking at Leslie and smiling as they got up to leave. As the 3 of them walked into the bar, it was already pretty crowded, so they didn't look too conspicuous coming in. They found the last 3 empty chairs at the bar where some people had just left, and Kitty recognized them from earlier in the afternoon and waved them over so they could sit in her station and talk to her. As they sat down, Leslie spoke up. "Kitty, this is our sweet cousin Max." "Pleased to meet you, Max," Kitty said as she extended her hand for Max to shake. "Same here," replied Max, shaking back. "He was nice enough to let us stay with him while we're here. He's always been our favorite cousin." Wesley was feeding her some BS background. "So where do you work, Max?" Kitty inquired. "I'm a poker dealer," Max lied. "I've been working for the Boyd Group at Samstown, but I'm moving next month to work for Station Casinos at Sunset Station." Kitty just nodded and smiled as she excused herself to wait on some other customers. She came back momentarily and took their drink orders as Kitty and the girls just made idle chit-chat. The band was just finishing their setup and Max was anxious to hear how they sounded. It was a 4-piece band whose sign said they were called Plausible Denial. Max mentioned to the girls that he liked the band's name, but didn't want to say anything about their own band so as not to draw attention to themselves in case somebody had seen them play and recognized them. I'm nothing special, Max thought, but the twins were hard to miss. At that moment, Max looked up to see their superhero community promo spot on the TV. Like Wesley did originally, Max started to panic, but as before, no one was paying attention close enough to recognize him, especially with the masks on their faces, so Max sighed a breath of relief. This whole investigator thing was new to him, and he wasn't as acclimated to the challenge as he wished he was. The girls, meanwhile, were laughing and joking with Kitty, and it seemed they were becoming best buds. Max just chilled, ordered another drink, and let the girls do their thing while he analyzed the band. as most musicians do when they go out to hear other bands play besides their own. By the end of the night, the two girls were pretty buzzed, as Kitty was doing shots with them. Max was just sipping beer, as he knew he was driving and one of them had to remain sober to get them home. On the drive home, the girls were discussing Kitty and any info they were able to pull from her. If she knew as much as Ben claimed, she wasn't sharing it. But it was the first time they all met, and they shouldn't expect too much, which is exactly what Ben told them the next day when they reported their surveillance report to him. However, the girls made a plan to do some shopping on Kitty's day off, the day after tomorrow, so hopefully the casualness of girl shopping might relax her enough to spill some info she otherwise might not have.